So good morning, everyone, to Marketing Matters. I'm Sarah Touchstone with Landmark Title, bringing you the most up-to-date marketing information for your real estate business. And when I say most up-to-date, we're diving right into 2022 marketing with our panel of industry experts today. So last week we had these three experts on. You guys like when I call you experts too? It's like an extra little pat on the back. We had, yep. Keith, as if it could get any bigger. We had these panelists on last week talking about the 2021 marketing trends, what worked, what didn't. My particular favorite was what didn't work. You know, it's great when you can actually pull apart things that just didn't work, and kind of where marketing was last year for real estate. So they have all graciously accepted to come back on this week for a follow-up. And what we're going to be focusing a lot on today is 2022 marketing. So our industry, it's ever changing. The market here in Phoenix is really, I'm going to say it's the hottest market in the United States when it comes to real estate. So the rest of the country, a lot of times, is looking towards Phoenix and Phoenix agents for what is cutting edge and what the rest of the country's market is going to look like. So how can our agents, be the pioneers? How can they, stay top of mind with their clients and really push forward in this kind of a little slightly different era than we've seen for a lot of times? So for anybody that wasn't on last week, I'm going to introduce our panel. We've got Keith Flynn with the Flynn Media Group. He is also the director of digital marketing at West USA Realty, one of the largest brokerages in the state of Arizona, basically. And he brings a wealth of knowledge and works with agents, from beginning agents to top producers to entire teams. And then we've got Kylie Strawn, and she runs her own marketing business as well. She has been in the real estate industry since she was a wee one. Her family is in real estate, so she has basically grown up learning these marketing techniques and brings a very fresh, cutting-edge view towards marketing real estate. And then we've got Nikki Soto, who also runs her own marketing company, Your Real Estate Cure. And Nikki, her main focus is on my absolutely number one favorite marketing technique, which is video marketing. She brings a lot of knowledge when it comes to particularly emerging trends when it comes to video marketing for your real estate business, and is our Reels expert on the panel. So good morning, everybody. It's great to see you again.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
All right, let's go ahead and we'll dive right into it. Just like last week, after this first slide, I'm going to throw our faces up on the screen. There we go. And what we're talking about today are 2022 real estate marketing trends. So I've got some questions that I'm going to start going through. If you, the participants, have any questions as we are going along, please put them in the chat. Please put them in the question and answer. Some of them sometimes we do get to as we're talking. So if I don't work them in right away, know that sometimes I'm just trying to see if we're going to answer it as we're chatting away. But we also have a specific question and answer portion at the end. So if it's not related to necessarily what we're going over, we will get to it. So with that being said, I'm going to put all of us up here on screen for you guys, because I think it's a little bit more fun than staring at one single question and all of us chatting, kind of like an Inman format, which I like. So we'll go ahead. We'll dive right in with question number one. And I like this one because I kind of think that it, in a lot of ways, sums up just about every client that our agents are dealing with nowadays. So the first question I'm going to throw over to Kylie. All right. What are some ways to start marketing to the unconventional buyer? Like, what is going to catch an unconventional buyer's eye? Because we've got a lot of unconventional buyers in our Phoenix real estate market.
Yeah, so the biggest tip that I would give, and I preach this all the time, is to give as much value as you can. The more value that you give, the more you're going to get in return. And so give those little details of the process through the transaction. People want to know, they know how to find a home. They can go to Zillow, they can go to your MLS. Like, they know how to find a home. They want to know, how can you help them? What makes you unique over XYZ agent over here for you to help them? So really focus on giving value and showing, this is what I do for my clients. Show the behind the scenes. If you are at an inspection, maybe show like, hey, this is the inspection report that we get. Show that sort of stuff, because the more that you show, the more people are going to trust you, which also leads to, if they know, like, and trust you, they're 9 times out of 10 going to use you. So that's my biggest tip with that. And also, don't forget to engage. Social media is meant to be social. So even if you're like, oh, these people bought a home 2 years ago, they may not be looking. You never know who knows someone that's looking to buy or sell or anything like that. So really engage on social media with those people that you're like, oh, I haven't talked to this friend since high school. Say happy birthday to them. Use that time, because you never know who's going to buy. So that's my
Nice. Nikki, how about you? How can agents market and attract the unconventional buyer?
I would say an unconventional buyer is going to be based on their own definition of each individual agent and what they determine to be an unconventional buyer. But I would say to really make note of past transactions, things that were wonky, weird, that you had never seen before, questions that you were asked periodically, things that kind of happened throughout the transaction or the messages that you currently get, and really make a note of all of that. Because if one person wants to know, more people want to know. And that's really where you're going to find. So I have a client and she focuses mainly on flips. And what she wants to do is she wants people to utilize their life insurance to buy a rental property. And then there are people out there that say refinance your home, use your equity to buy your rental property, stuff like that. I would think that that's pretty unconventional because that is something really popular right now. And as long as you can really like engulf yourself in the knowledge of that, that is something that people really want to know. I don't know the exact statistic, but I think it's something like 1 in 4 homes are rental properties here in Phoenix. It's something crazy like that. And really, also captivating your headlines as far as what you're going to talk about, whether it's in post form or video form. And so really trying to speak directly to them. You know, hey, you've got a weird situation, I've got your answer. Or, hey, you've got an unconventional, you've got a creative financing thing, like this is how I can help you out, kind of stuff like that. To really show, again, it's all what we talked about last week for the people who weren't here, is we really talked about knowing your audience and niching down, no broad niching. And so it's really important for you as an agent to really know who it is that you're trying to speak to and not attract buyers and sellers from here to Timbuktu. Like, you want to get really clear on who it is you're trying to serve. And if that is some sort of odd real estate transaction, then you're going to attract more of that. So make sure you like to do it first as well, not just something that you know is going to sell. Make sure you want to do it too.
Absolutely. All right, Keith, I know that you work with a lot of unconventional agents who work with a lot of unconventional buyers.
Yeah. And also too, targeting unconventional sellers. You know, one of the plays that a lot of agents, backing up real quick, just to reinforce what Kylie had said. Each and every time that an agent gets past a pain point with a client that may not be a common occurrence, that is certainly one that you want to document. And if it means just turning on the camera real quick and shooting a video on hey, this is what happened, this is how we overcame it, is really going to help and lend itself to agents to show social proof. Not only am I a trusted agent or a neighborhood mayor, but this is what I've done for my past clients that found themselves in a unique situation, and then that video can live on in your tool belt archive as a way to show that not only do you say it, but you actually do it, and here's how you did it. So that if any future potential buyer or seller finds themselves working with you, they feel confident that you're able to navigate some of those unconventional challenges that we experience when buying and selling. One of the other cool things a lot of agents, aggressive agents, that are doing is when trying to find a home for a buyer, they're not overlooking rental properties. And if there is a rental property that's available, there's no reason why you can't reach out to that seller or that investor and see, will they entertain an offer? They've got skin in the game. And so not overlooking rental properties is a big one. And contacting that seller and seeing, hey, I've got a motivated buyer, cash offer, want to get into the market. There's no reason why you can't pick that phone up and see if you can convert that rental property into a sale opportunity. So, and then, from there, take it. But I think having an open mind and exploring all avenues and opportunities that are available, someone who's creative is really going to lend themselves well to this industry.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that 100%. All right. So the next question, we danced around this last week a little bit, and I kind of left the teaser that we're going to talk about it more. But do y'all think that automation is going to be a really important factor for 2022 marketing? I know we talk about it, all the time, that the more you can have your systems work for you, the more efficient you're going to be, the better you're going to be. But, tools for real estate agents are always changing, including automation. So what types of, automation, can we expect to see and actually utilize in 2022? Nikki, I'm going to push this to you first.
I would say you can automate a lot of things. You can make sure you have your email campaigns ready to go with the dates, the text campaigns, all of those things with your CRM. As far as social media goes, there are a lot of scheduling tools. My favorite is Facebook Creator Studio, one, because it's free. And there are Planoly, Hootsuite, Later, all of those other ones as well. There are ones that you can pay for to schedule out your reels. But what I do is I time block, and I think more people should time block, right? And then you film all of your video content, or you create your posts, stuff like that, with a content calendar, and then you schedule it out. And then your videos, you just put in your drafts. And then you have, if you're sick, then you can go in your drafts, and then you can just post a video that you had made before. So you're not really missing out. You're staying top of mind. You're staying consistent, because it only takes one day to really kind of fall off. There's a book called Atomic Habits that I really like. And he really states, like, if I miss one day, like, I will never miss more than one day. Like, that cannot happen. It absolutely will not happen. And he has that set in his mind where he will not be inconsistent for more than one day. And I think it really stems as well of mindset. And when you look at any top producer, any of them, they have a very strict routine. They have things set on automation. They have people that they delegate tasks to, stuff like that, that really helps them stay on track. And so it also brings a level of professionalism to, impress your clients of, okay, that's what they said was going to happen, and I got it right away. And so, we can talk about open house kits, that you have a strict system for your open houses, and it's kind of all automated of you just kind of have everything ready for for buyers, for sellers. But when it comes to social media, I really like Facebook Creator Studio. You can schedule on Facebook and on Instagram. It's free. You can schedule your posts and your stories. You can draft your reels. You can draft your TikToks. stuff like that. And it's pretty convenient and it's pretty easy to figure out and navigate. And then it can save, hours. What is it? 2.5 hours a day we spend on social media. So if you can cut that by only spending like maybe 8 hours a month of scheduling out your content and all of your things, that can really help save you as the agent a lot of time to go out and sell and not worry about, what am I going to talk about today? Oh my God, I don't even know. And then it becomes that analysis paralysis of, well, I have so much to do today, but I'm going to take a nap instead type of thing.
Which never happens in real estate. Never. Keith, I know you are like the king of automation. Okay, the king of knowledge of automation.
Yeah. So no, I do like automation. Obviously, I'm a big from a home personal standpoint. If this then that, using those codes to help with, like, if you arrive home within 1 mile of your house and your Wi-Fi connects to your smartphone, then your AC kicks on. There's some really cool stuff, home automation. Obviously, when it comes to real estate, one of the big things that we preach around here is automation, a robust automation service built into your CRM. Getting a lot of good CRMs out there that will help with automating your drip campaigns, text messaging. We partner with Wise Agent here at the brokerage. It's been a fantastic partnership and one that has benefited our agents considerably. When it comes to social media automation, yes, there are a lot of choices. Facebook doesn't like a lot of third-party applications that automate because they want you to actually physically log in. So yeah, to Nikki's point, obviously using Facebook Creator Studio is huge because they don't see it as a third-party application because it's theirs. But when it comes to CRMs, get out of Excel and find a CRM that's going to benefit you guys. It's statistically shown that agents that use a CRM make more in commissions and have more transactions per year than someone who's weighed down in some of the clunky Excel programs, because you can't automate that. And so it's important that you're getting them into a drip campaign, getting them into a text messaging campaign, and then letting the automation keep your touch points consistent, so that when they have a time or a need, they'll think of you, they'll remember you. Facebook Messenger has automation that's great. Should someone land on your Facebook page, you can set up either some canned questions or preset questions that you decide as the agent. Are you looking to pre-qualify? Are you looking to refinance? Are you looking to get a free home evaluation? And let Facebook do that for you. Bots are popular. Some of them can be a little bit heavy as far as learning how to use a bot. But at the end of the day, if you want to get into automation and you don't really have a lot of knowledge base for that, get with a professional or someone who works with your brokerage to help you out.
Perfect. And Kylie?
Yeah, so you guys kind of hit the nail on the head with Facebook Creator Studio. I definitely think that's a good tool if you want automation, but I don't like automation. Facebook and Instagram don't like third parties. So instead of automation, and that I'm kind of going to like switch it and talk about really quick how you can set yourself up for success. And all you have to do is really take like your post. So create your post, sit down, like Nikki said, sit down in a day, create your post and all that. But then set a reminder in your phone or alarm to go off, and just make it kind of a theme of like, okay, at 8 a.m., I'm going to go in, email it to yourself, and copy and paste the email, like the caption and the photo, into Instagram, and then go in and add my hashtags. Now, for me, all of my clients, I actually schedule, like I have an iPod, it's in the other room, but I actually don't schedule any of my clients' posts. I post manually. So that's one thing, is when I go and post, I actually start engaging with their followers too. And so I'll start engaging with that. So Instagram's like, oh, wait a second, her post is out and now we're engaging and now she's pushing and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of like a little trick to Instagram. So that way you get, one, your engagement done and you're engaging with people, and two, you posted for the day. And so I always say, like, just sit down Monday, Tuesday, sometime that works for you. And I'm a big believer, have your CEO day, not just working in your business, but on your business. And that day, spend it doing social media. And then email your post to yourself so it's in your email, put it in a file, and then copy and paste it into Instagram or Facebook. And that way then you go in and engage too.
Nice, nice. All right, next question. Keith, this is going to come to you first. What are the new digital tools for marketing? Because this is what we're talking about. We're talking about 2022, the new, the best, what's coming next.
So there's nothing that's like new like that. I'm probably going to like be the first one to share with anybody. But one of the tactics that we've been working with our agents and I've been pushing for this year or for moving into 2022 is really so one of the things that I noticed from a brokerage standpoint, and being aware of articles coming out from the news industry and what's happening, what's not, that a lot of times there were a lot of agents being quoted or interviewed from other brokerages. And so one of the tactics that I wanted to push for 2022, and we've talked about considerably, is how do we coach our agents to be more of a publicist, a PR rep for themselves, and get more free press in 2022. If we can help our agents get to that point, it's advantageous for us because obviously the byproduct of that is we're getting some advertising for the brokerage. And so one of the things that we've been working on with them, and one of the big tools is a website called Haro. It's help a reporter out. And what you can do is become a source for this website. A lot of journalists go to this site to look for a quick quote on any number of topics. And so real estate agents can jump in there and create an account, become a source. And anytime news outlets have a need, you create a bio, can obviously build out who you are. We've got a lot of heavy hitters in our brokerage, and they could be doing more to get some more press, free press, which is advantageous not only for them, because again, another avenue, traditional media to showcase their expertise and their knowledge, but then also too, it's going to benefit us from a brokerage standpoint. And honestly, this question and the remaining questions is just got to be video. Got to be all in on video for the new year. Really need to embrace it, and just document and archive what you're doing as an agent. In the last year, Facebook Live it quadrupled in watchers, people who are actually watching Facebook Lives, not only because out of a necessity to connect with humans on some level, but also too, it's just a great way to gain information and retain it at a larger clip than any other form of advertising.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Kylie, what are the new, not just digital tools, but tools? I love that Keith focused on publicity. And Keith, if you wouldn't mind putting that website in our chat window,
let me Google that.
You can pull that. All right. So Kylie, what digital marketing, other types of marketing, what can we expect to see being really popular, and where should we be pushing our agents in 2022?
Yeah, so I would recommend email marketing, and those freebies that you have, utilize them. The freebies that you get from your title company, lenders, utilize them. And one that I actually like, it's called Flow Desk. And I love the look of the emails and all the landing pages and all of that. You can set up a landing page, have it set up where if somebody was to sign up for the buyer guide, they automatically receive it. You don't have to send it out. Goes with the systems automation part. But that's one I would really push, because you don't own Instagram and Facebook. If they were to go away, how are you going to be able to, keep in touch with people? So really, I would push. Your goal is to have people sign up for your freebies, sign up for your email newsletter, anything that you have that you're offering, have people sign up from Instagram or Facebook, and then email them. Maybe it's a monthly newsletter of local events happening, a recipe that you like. You could do it. Valentine's Day is coming up. You could do one of local date night spots to go for Valentine's Day. Maybe offer, partner with a small business and offer hey, here is, a coupon, show this coupon to them. you can do all that stuff through your email marketing. It's a way for you to kind of be like a VIP to your past clients and current clients and really your sphere. So I would say really focus on email marketing and just pushing that relationship connection off of social media.
Nice. All right, Nikki, what are the new tools, digital and otherwise, for marketing in 2022?
So it's really exciting because TikTok in 2021 passed YouTube and passed Google for the #1 visited site. And they did that from August on. So they didn't start beating out Google until August. And so they did it in such a little bit amount of time. And so that's kind of mind-blowing news. If everyone's like, well, I gotta find people on Google, I gotta do things on YouTube. I mean, you do, right? But we know the #1 most visited site is TikTok. And so that's really gotta be non-negotiable. Like, you have to have an omnipresence, you have to repurpose your videos, you have to remove the watermarks. It's not an option. I think that a multi-link, that the first link on, an Instagram, when you have the ability to click on the link, I think that you put the freebie in your bio, and then you say, click here for your 12 days of Valentine's Day, or 12 best date night spots in Phoenix, stuff like that. I think that's really powerful. I think that people respond better when it's more kind of social or more lifestyle than it is maybe get your free comparative market analysis. I think you're going to get a lot more interest when you can do maybe something more of a lifestyle. I also think that going live, just as Keith said, there was I don't remember the company, Porchlight, something like that, where they videoed you talking to other business owners, and then you had that video to put on your YouTube and stuff like that. You have the ability to collaborate on your lives, on TikTok Live, on Instagram Live. And I think that because you get put in front of complete strangers and people who may be interested in your stuff, as well as nurturing your current followers, if you can be in, just like we're doing now, I'm in my bedroom, you're in your office, and you can talk on a live and reach your audience, my audience. I mean, we could even be, all 4 of us could be on an Instagram Live right now, because you can have up to 4. And so I think that that's really powerful, and it also broadens your horizons to so much more than if you would. I just think that's an outdated way. That is, it's more beneficial for you to try some different avenues, where we do know that Facebook Live quadrupled views. We do know that Instagram pushes lives out to complete strangers. We do know you grow your following by going on TikTok Live. We all know that. And so that is kind of a really powerful tool to include in your social media strategy. In addition to your short form video, you should also be doing a live or a long form video once a week.
I agree. I love live videos. And we mentioned last week, I haven't seen a lot of live videos. There's been a lot more emphasis on reels. I feel like this past year, whereas maybe in 2020 and 2019, there was a lot of emphasis on doing lives, doing the Facebook Live, and then Instagram came out with a live. And I saw a lot of it, particularly in 2020, when we all got stuck in home, and it was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We're going on Facebook Live. But this past year, I didn't see very much of it. So I would love to see it kind of, become a trend back in 2022, because I think they're super fun. I love the fact that you can't take back what you're doing. You can't second guess what you're saying and what you're doing, because it is live. It's just on the fly. It's very raw. It's very real, and just super fun to not only do, but to watch as well. We did have a question, was that, is there a way to do overlays on like a Facebook or an Instagram Live? So a lot of times, when agents are doing their canned videos and they're editing, they'll have their name pop up, they'll have their phone number pop up. So does anybody want to field this question? Is there any way to do a little bit more, or like in Reels, obviously we have stuff that pops up. Is there any way to do that on a live version?
Yeah, there's
What
two.
the website is called.
Good.
But there is a website that you can go to and it links. I don't think it links to Facebook and Instagram, or I think it's like YouTube, Facebook, maybe a couple others. But there's one where you can populate whatever you want to be on it, whether it's fair housing, whether it's brokerage, whether it's phone number, whether it's like a banner board or whatever, like basketball scores, kind of like there's some flexibility that you can do with that. I don't know what the website is called though, but I know it's out there.
The two popular ones that one of them we use is Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live is a software that installs on your computer, both PC and Mac. And then you're able to take the questions from the comments section, click on it, and it pops a cool little overlay graphic with the profile photo of the person who's asking it.
StreamYard, that's the one I was thinking of. There's a StreamYard one where you can do that.
Mari Smith, the Facebook queen, she uses Ecamm. I believe she uses Ecamm. Be Live is another one, BELIVE, or VE, yeah, Be Live is another popular one too. There is a cost associated with those, but those are two really cool, robust ones that do some really neat stuff. And I know for a fact Ecamm Live, when you use their service, you can then push, or you can use Zoom and then push through Ecamm Live as well. So,
Ooh.
A little technical. There's some bugs. You just got to work through them, but they will allow for overlays while you're live, and I think that's pretty much what people are looking for. You can do titles, headers, the questions from the chat box, and really get into it. But it's a little bit of an intermediate level user, because we get a lot of people still hung up on what to say and how they look. So we get past that, then I say the next level will be using a third-party streaming site.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's really some really good information regarding, I mean, I would absolutely love to see, like I said, more Facebook Lives. I'd love to see those come back. And I think it would be very exciting in this next year to see some of our agents take their lives to the next level with some of those overlays. I know I just wrote both of those websites down myself. All right, next question. I'm going to throw this one over to Kylie. What are some of the new changes that we can see in 2022 on social media or for social media marketing? I mean, obviously, we're all of these questions are all kind of circling back in a lot of ways to what we continue to talk about. So obviously, we talked about, the Facebook Lives, the Instagram Lives, streaming, and whatnot. But what are some of the changes that we are experiencing? Because I know we're all on social media every day, but a lot of times the average user doesn't necessarily notice the changes that are going on until it's like, oh my gosh, my Facebook, it looks completely different. Where are these features?
Yeah, so I mean, one big thing is Reels. I would recommend if you are scared to do Reels, don't be just go out there and do it and start. Trust me, I was a perfectionist when I first started Reels, and I didn't post one for a month because I was like, no, I don't like this filter. No, I don't like the way I sound in it. And I just was like, no, I'm just going to push it. So yeah, doing more Reels, we're going to see a lot of push. I mean, I'm already starting to see when I'm going through Instagram feeds, that's the only thing that's popping up right now are Reels. I'm starting to see that more than just the static photo posts. Not saying photo posts are going away. Those are still going to be there. You can still post photos, but more pushing the Reel stuff. And going back to the Reels is you don't have to be in every single video. A lot of the things that we're going to start seeing is people want to see more than just real estate. They want to see local things. They want to see, you. And so if you are a mom of 4 kids, then show that you're a mom, and you might be able to, show your mom hacks and that sort of stuff. We're going to see a lot of people wanting to be more authentic. I'm already starting to see that with the influencers, because I actually don't even look at real estate when I'm creating stuff. I look at more like influencers, like fashion, all that. I'm starting to see them show the raw footage of, hey, this is my messy house. Like they're starting to show that more. So we're going to start seeing a lot of things that are more of the behind the scenes that before we would be like, oh no, we don't want to show that, we'll be judged. Now people are starting to just show it.
Nice. Nikki, what kinds of changes will we be seeing on social media in 2022?
So I think everybody, like if they have posted on social media or they have dabbled in some videos, I think you all know what gets you a better response. And it's typically the things that are not business related. Incorporating business is very important because you need to let people know what you do, but you cannot run a successful social media. You cannot have a successful account without showing your face, without showing behind the scenes, without showing who you are as a person. If you keep it 100% professional, it's kind of boring. You know what I mean? And there are a lot of things coming, right? So as we said last week, Facebook Reels is only a couple months old. And there will be a linking capability that'll come out later this year where right now your reels that you post on Facebook, they'll automatically go to Facebook. However, they won't go under your name to where you can view them. So I see that coming. I mean, in a couple months, they're changing up the feed. The CEO of Instagram will do like a story Q&A once a week, typically on Fridays, where people will ask like, how do I grow my account? How do I grow my followers? And every single time, lean into video, show behind the scenes. It's supposed to be choppy. It's supposed to be real. It's supposed to be unfiltered because people don't want to do business with perfect people. They want to do business with people, not perfection. And so I think that's where you're going to really see a big shift. And you're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to be entertaining. Like it's not supposed to be stiff, like suit and tie and just non-moving, non-gesture, stuff like that. You're supposed to be in movement. I don't remember if I said this last week, but my favorite thing to say is, especially for the young moms, the show Cocomelon. I try and make videos like the show Cocomelon, where every scene is changing, like every 2 seconds. There's text that pops up on the screen. There's new angles. There's new people in it. I mean, your eye is supposed to just be, moving. You're supposed to be engaged the whole entire time. And I think that that's really something really powerful when it comes to video. You can do literally the dumbest thing and it can go to millions and millions of people. And you cannot do that any other way. And I think that's also extremely powerful, is knowing, I mean, it's all like dopamine hits, right? So the notification, the idea that you have a notification is a hit of dopamine. So if you are utilizing social media and you're starting to get great engagement, it's a great win for you and great, I call them small wins or instant wins to keep going and to keep perfecting your video schedule. Your first one's going to be awful. Like it is. I look at mine. Oof, they're bad. You know what I mean? But they have to get better. And they're going to hit the right person. You're not trying to be a McDonald's or a huge name, right? You're trying to go into your target audience, niche down into a particular type of client, and that is what your content is trying to reach. They're trying to reach the small group of people that will buy from you. And the more you can speak directly to them, another feature that I really like is on TikTok and on Instagram, if somebody leaves a comment on your videos, you are able to respond with another reel or TikTok. And so that is a very genuine, like you are speaking directly to them. And like I said before, if one person has that question, more people do as well. And so it's really a great way to engage with your audience, where if somebody comments on your reel or TikTok and they have a genuine question, then you can hit reply in a video and be like, I'm going to answer this question. Thank you so much for asking this. This is the answer. Please let me know what other questions you guys have. Done.
Whoa.
You want to shoot, especially in the as you're starting your video journey, you want to stay in that like 7 to 12 second range, some quick ones just to kind of show some insights and have the algorithm kind of learn who's interacting with your stuff so they can put you in front of more people to then you can lengthen out that time of video.
Nice. All right, Keith, changes to social media coming up in 2022.
Yeah, so I thought about this one because there's always a lot of changes, and even though sometimes classes that I teach feel redundant, can't ever overlook it because there are a lot of changes to the platform, whether navigating it or how new tools, understanding different techniques. But one of the challenges that we had when Facebook decided to clip a lot of the filtrations that allowed us to run ads as agents, we were now forced to select a special ad category, which narrowed what we could do. And it turned into just basically throwing anything against the wall to see what's stuck. And so it wasn't targeted, it wasn't specific, and we couldn't get much from it. So one of the things that I pitched with agents and from a brokerage standpoint is if you have the budget to look into pre-roll ads on YouTube. So if a pre-roll ad on YouTube or in-stream ad basically allows you to create a quick ad that will run before someone watches a video. So let's say I'm someone who's interested in becoming a real estate agent, or I'm a first-time home buyer and I need to know what it is to pre-qualify. I go to Google, I create that search, I read some articles, read some information about it. Tomorrow I come back and I Google how to make hard-boiled eggs. And that video takes me to YouTube. Before that YouTube video on how to make hard-boiled eggs runs, I'm going to get served an ad about pre-qualifying for a home or something related to a previous query search on Google. So now I'm being targeted by someone who's speaking directly to a previous question that I had the day before or the week before. And so pre-roll ads, YouTube pre-roll ads, in-stream ads can be relatively cost-effective since it's super niched. And you may be competing with some of the bigger brokerages, or even like Zillow or something like that. But it's definitely an alternative tactic to what Facebook took away, since Google doesn't have those restrictions on who we can target. We're not so much targeting a demographic, but more of someone's interest in the home buying and selling process. And so running a quick pre-roll ad in the first 6 seconds, you better get your hook in there because they're going to hit that little skip to the video and go watch how to make hard-boiled eggs or whatever they're watching. But is a great alternative to what we once had on Facebook. Now, I'm speaking obviously to those who have run ads and are ad manager users, business admin users. So it could be a little overwhelming for someone who hasn't run ads before, especially on Google. But for those who have or want to pick that back up again, I think that's a great alternative. And again, you're using video. And if you have a strong video presence, you have a strong video archive, then naturally you're going to tie that video back to when they learn more, or click here below to learn more about this. Then it'll take them to your YouTube page where they can learn more about you and obviously the interest and the questions that they need answered.
Nice. All right. I think we've got time for one more question. And I like this one. This one's a little bit off topic from, marketing and whatnot, digitally and specific, like what types of marketing, but focuses a lot on the relationship side of marketing as a whole. So Nikki, I'm going to put this one to you first. But will we see a sustained focus on building brand advocates or brand ambassadors? So we talk a lot about direct marketing for agents. So it's a lot of what are they doing to market and to gain clients. But this is one of my favorite things to help agents with is building brand ambassadors or brand advocates that are going to go out and they're going to actually help you to market. So are we going to see that as being a sustainable marketing tactic? And how can agents really develop brand advocates to be a marketing tactic for them in 2022?
So I love Brian Buffini. I took his coaching in 2016, and I really love his take on relationship marketing and relationship building. I love pop buys. I love monthly cards. I subscribe to a card like company every month, even though I don't really send out cards, but I love the idea of it all, right? And I think that when you love up on your sphere of influence or your people, obviously the rule of reciprocity, they feel you gave them something, they want to give you something, whether that's in the form of a referral. It's also a little less pressure on people if you tell them you don't maybe want a referral, but you want to help get the word out. And really how you can do that on social media especially is sharing your posts, sharing your videos to their stories. You can tag people so it shows up on their page. I've kind of experimented with that. It's pretty cool. I think that really helps you get into different audiences. And so I think the way to do that is obviously to love up on your people and to always so there's this documentary on Netflix, and it's called The Push. And it's all about this British mentalist that says that he can convince somebody to push somebody off of a building. And it's really, really cool. And it really just kind of makes you realize people want to be told what to do. Most people need direction, and they need, if you're like, Sarah, you sit in this chair, Keith, you sit in this chair, I'll sit in this chair, and Kylie, you sit in this chair, and somebody can be that leader to kind of delegate, we're probably going to obey. You know what I mean? And so I take that and I take it in with my people, and I say, Sarah, I want you to post this on your story so I can get in front of your audience. And you'll be like, yeah, absolutely. I totally will do that. But people can't read minds, and they're not going to do something without you telling them to do something. Like, husbands, right? They can't read minds. And so I think that's really kind of where you can get more exposure, especially on social media, is when you make a video, you can tag people in it. It helps grow your exposure. It helps grow their exposure. You can have people share your stuff to their stories. That's a bit of ways that you can get into broader audiences, because it's not super duper easy to grow on Facebook other than utilizing Facebook video, utilizing Facebook Reels. The searchability factor isn't super duper powerful. It is a lot more powerful on TikTok and Instagram. And so you have a bit more sharing features, and you just have more features to get out in front of a broader audience. Whereas on Facebook, it's not too easy. But that's what I would suggest, is start utilizing your sphere of influence, start tagging some people or your favorite people, not in posts, but more like your reels and your videos. Invite, I think they're called like brand collaborators, and you can, I don't know what the limit is on those, but they show up on that other person's feed as well. So that's just a couple ways that you can get out there on social media to get expanded into your sphere of influences network.
Love it. Keith.
Yeah.
Sustainable brand ambassadors for real estate. I love the tagging thing. That's I think that sometimes that's underutilized. We see, every once in a while we'll get, tagged for something, and you're like, oh, why did I get tagged for this? But how powerful is that to be able to just bring people into what you're already doing?
Yeah. I touched on this a little bit last week about, being a Facebook business page owner and then visiting other business pages of vendors and small business owners, nonprofits, charitable organizations, anybody that services your area, especially mom and pops. I'm big about local first. I will always choose a local first restaurant over a chain. The food's good. Obviously, I'm not going to go back, but at the end of the day, collaboration, and I know Nikki touched on this a little bit earlier, collaborating. I mean, if you want more engagement, then you need to engage. You need to collaborate more, with your hyper niched farm, your local community. It's funny because we're using social media to touch more people at scale, but we need to do that on a local hyper niche level, and that's collaborating with your small business owners, get them on camera. Call ahead, talk to an owner, talk to a GM, seeing if you can set aside some time. I've seen some agents do this very successfully. Especially if you know there's a new build coming in, community, or if there's a new restaurant opening in the area. Again, being an in the know agent is important. When people see you as someone who knows about something before anybody else, they're going to start to come to you. That's why, the joke is about the what's the gossip at the water cooler, right? It's because he always knows what's happening. The 411 agent, right? For those who used to call 411 back in the day, that's important, and people see value in that. And then it shows that you know the neighborhood, you build those relationships, and what better way to get more exposure for yourself when you tag a business owner in there, because now they're going to, especially if you interview someone, it's going to stroke their ego, and then you're going to share that video and they're going to say, oh, this is really fun. They're going to go share that with their friends and family. Look what I did the other day. And now you're expanding your audience. Now you're getting into their circle of influence and their friends. And so collaboration is the best way to go about using your audience and leveraging your audience. And when collaborating, if you're on video with them, it's going to lessen the apprehension about being all by yourself and staring into the camera. Just have a natural conversation and just let the camera capture it, and then post it on social media.
Love it. All right, Kylie, sustainable brand ambassadors.
Yeah, so Keith and Nikki touched on almost everything that I was mentioning. Another thing that I've noticed is just collaboration over competition. Real estate agents in your community, we all don't do the same exact thing. And so if there is someone that you want to reach out to them. Like, don't be scared and be like, oh my gosh, your numbers are top 1%. It doesn't matter. Just reach out to them and, just collaborate. And so Keith mentioned a really good point about local businesses, and sit down with them and learn about them and highlight them, because even during, most of the time we only see a small business Saturday. So instead of just posting on Small Business Saturday and, being like, oh yeah, small businesses, do it throughout the year. And maybe that could be the sign that you hold in pictures with, your clients. That could be you go to a local, wood shopper, artist, whoever, instead of just going on Etsy and finding someone, you find someone local and tag them. And so it's super, super important. And then your clients, share their success story, share how you help them, but also then tag them and have them share it to their stories and on their Facebook profile. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt. Like, it's not, I've heard real estate agents be like, well, I don't want people to know who my clients are and go after them. Nobody is going to go after them. Like, don't be so scared of people trying to take your clients. They already worked with you and they loved you. And so definitely just collaborate over competition 100%. And that's my biggest thing, is it's like, just go out there and get all the information you can and really use it. And
and just continue to grow and change. It was awesome having you guys on the last 2 weeks. This is such great information. I'd love to schedule you guys to come on individually throughout the year. So I think we'll be collaborating some more on that. These are my favorite people to collaborate with. Everybody in the real estate industry, but I love having specific industry experts on because you guys are the ones that are out there. You're working with the agents. I think one of the things I know I'd like to do maybe with Marketing Matters is bring like you guys on individually as well as an agent, and maybe we can knock out some of these pain points that agents have with their business and do it in a live fashion. I think that could be really helpful, because what is a better way to learn than by example, than by seeing it actually done? Because I know a lot of times we sit here and we talk about things. But one of the things I'd love to have you guys do is come back on and we'll do some actual, like, this is how you do it. Here is the pain point. here is how we resolve it, and this is our final product. So I think that will be really fun. If you guys have questions about how to get started with video marketing, with Reels, with social media, I know we just talk a lot about it on Marketing Matters. However, I cannot recommend more highly than joining one of the classes that any of these experts offer. So I know that all of them offer classes on a lot of the topics that we're talking about on here. We do a lot of the classes. Keith says he's having a class tomorrow. Case in point.
It's free. It's free.
It is a lot of
whether there's one person or there's 2,500, I'm still going to do the class because I record them and they live archived. So, and someone asked, is there any good agents to watch? We talk about that tomorrow. I talk about some influencers in the industry. So shameless plug. Thank you, Sarah. But, I get nothing out of it except just the satisfaction knowing that I'm making a difference in the industry. So please join me tomorrow.
You absolutely are. And Keith, Nikki, and Kylie, can you guys put your contact information in the chat too? So if you would like to reach out to them to get what their class schedule is, what they're going to be covering, honestly, like taking a class that's specific about, I'll just use, for example, Reels, because we talked a lot about it. If you just take a simple Reels class, everything comes together and you're like, oh, okay, that was not nearly as complicating as I have been making out in my mind to be. So any of the topics that our industry experts cover in their classes, I highly recommend jumping on their class. A lot of them they do them on Zoom. Some of them are in person. And, you'll get a lot of the questions that I know that we cover a lot of information in here. And, it might even be confusing of what link in bio means. We don't have time to expand on all of that today. But that's why I recommend hopping into one of their classes. And any topics that you guys want covered on Marketing Matters. I love the fact that I have the platform to have people like our industry experts on and our top producers on and cover these topics. So for those of you that are on live or want to reach out to me, this is your platform. This is for you as the agents. So thank you to my panelists. I look forward to having you guys are all repeat offenders. Repeat guests on Marketing Matters. So I look forward to having you guys back on again in 2022. And I'm going to wrap up today's presentation with a few of the other classes that we have coming up. All right, we're going to go through. These are all of our questions. I like how I'm so in the habit of making slides, even though I knew I wasn't going to use them. But I was like, okay, God, this is my content. I have this now. I will save this. So next week, speaking of classes, not only do we do marketing classes and training classes, but at Landmark Title, we also offer CE classes. Yes, get your CE classes in. We have 2 seasons for CE classes. We have our spring and our fall CE classes. They run the third Thursday of every month from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So go ahead, pencil all of those dates from January through April in, and know that you have the opportunity to commit yourself to getting these CE hours done. So our first one for the spring kicks off next Thursday. That's a week from tomorrow, January 20th at 10 a.m. And this one is going to be 3 hours of agency. So if you want information on that, please reach out to myself or our business development managers at Landmark Title, and we'll get you signed up for that. I've got all of the dates here. So January 20th is agency. February 17th is disclosure. March, and that's our solar real estate one with Tara. So that's always a popular one. So make sure you get signed up for that. March 17th is Commissioner Standards and NAR. And then April 21st, which is also my birthday, so we get to celebrate with the CE class, super fun, is contract law. So if you are interested in any of these, please reach out, let us know, and we'll get you signed up. And then obviously we've got another one in between. We've got another Marketing Matters next week because we have it every week. But I really want to highlight the one that we've got coming up at the end of the month. We've got the commissioner coming on, the new commissioner. So this is going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be kind of a question and answer format as well. So if you have any questions for the commissioner, please reach out to me, send them to me ahead of time. I'm going to just kind of like I do with the panelists, I'll send them to the commissioner as well. But I really would love for this to be an interactive and involved type of situation when we have the commissioner on. So that's going to be pretty awesome and exciting. And that's it for us today, guys. So thank you, of course, once again to my panelists. Thank you, Keith, Kylie, and Nikki. You guys are pretty darn awesome when it comes to the information that you're able to share with us. I love having you guys on. And of course, thank you to my business development managers. You all are out there in the field working with our agents to keep their marketing top notch and them to stay top of mind with their clients. So thank you, of course, to Beth, Becky, Melinda, Mary, Patty, Eric in Las Vegas, and Michael. You guys, you are a blast to work with as well. And of course, thank you to Landmark Title for allowing us to bring you Marketing Matters every Wednesday. We really enjoy being here to help you with your marketing, as well as help you with all of your title and escrow needs. We have 7 offices here in the Valley, 1 up in Prescott now, to service you all across the board. So please think of us as you are writing out these contracts in 2022. We would love to be involved with you in every stage of your real estate business. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much.
Yay.
Thank you.